everyone, and welcome back to Art of Skincare's YouTube channel. Today is a live video, so I would love it if you guys would pop into the comments, say hello, ask questions along the way, just engage with me here because we are live. It's a great opportunity to ask me questions if you have anything that you need help with, whether it has to do with the video today or not. I'm open to all kinds of questions, and we'll do questions at the end of the video. So today's video is all about toners for acne-prone skin. We're specifically going to be looking at toners today that help target breakouts, as well as one of my favorite toners that helps support skin that is struggling with breakouts, but isn't necessarily targeting breakouts as that product itself is. So before we get into this video, I want to go through what is a toner. Toners are often also called lotions. So if you ever see a product out there that's called a lotion, but it looks like a toner, then it probably is also a toner. It's just a common name swap that we see. And the purpose of toners is to it's like a fusion product between a cleansing step and a corrective step. The cleansing property of a toner is that you are using it after your cleanser, usually with a toner pad, some sort of gauze pad that will help you use the toner on your skin, because toners are very liquidy, they're very watery. So by applying a toner to a toner pad, it is going to help penetrate the product, but also it will help pick up any residue from your cleanser, any sunscreen, makeup, or debris that's been left on your skin after cleansing, because not all cleansers are made equal. Not all of them deep cleanse the skin as they need to. And it also helps with really oily skin. So if you use a toner on very, very oily skin, it can help cut that thick sebum layer and that thick sebum that's in the skin so that the rest of your skincare products can penetrate better. Because if you have a really thick layer of sebum in your skin, your products aren't going to be able to penetrate through and do the work that they need to do. And then besides cleansing, toners also have active ingredients that are like serums. So you're getting active ingredients like acids, antioxidants. Often you can get vitamin C out of a toner. So it's a really nice transitionary step in a skincare routine. I will say toner is not always necessary in every single person's routine, but to me it's a staple because it just helps set up your skincare routine for success. You're gonna get some light exfoliation, you're gonna make sure your skin is squeaky clean, and you're going to infuse your skin with some active ingredients. So that's my spiel on toners. So let's start with a little myth that I hear again and again and again about most toners that target acne, and that is the presence of alcohol in their formulas. You often see alcohol denatured, SD alcohol, and even ethanol in the ingredient list for toners that have active ingredients like Mandelic Acid, lactic acid, and glycolic acid. So first off, why is that alcohol in there? Alcohol is in there because alcohol is an amazing solvent. So it actually helps dissolve the active ingredients. Like for example, salicylic acid cannot just be dissolved in water. It needs to be worked in with a solvent that helps evenly disperse the ingredient so that your skin can utilize it. If you don't use alcohol as a solvent for salicylic acid, your other major options are things like glycols, like propylene glycol, which are also perfectly safe ingredients, but they can leave a greasy, shiny finish to the skin, which often is the opposite of what you want if you have oily, acne-prone skin. The nice thing about using alcohol in your formula is that alcohol actually evaporates off the skin. They've done plenty of studies that show a 10% alcohol solution, which is usually in all of these products I'm going to show you, most of these products are less than 10% alcohol. All of that alcohol, except for maybe residual, like 3%, evaporates within a minute, and then the rest slowly evaporates after that. So the nice thing about using alcohol in a toner is that it's delivering that active ingredient you want, that salicylic acid that it was a solvent for, and then it's just evaporating off of the skin. So a lot of these big rumors that we hear that alcohol is terrible for the skin, that it damages the skin, it's really been fueled by some studies that aren't realistic in the real world. So for example, one of the studies that a very, very popular brand uses to tote their alcohol-free products is a study where they took individual skin cell cultures, so like just unbound skin, not found on your actual, like, it's not in a real situation. It's just little skin cells in a petri dish. Then they drowned those skin cells in a 100% ethanol solution and then sealed it up so that the alcohol could not escape or evaporate, basically. And in that study, they saw those skin cells shriveled up and died. However, more recent studies was done on, it's kind of gross to think about, but on pig skin, they also tested the same thing, but they used a more realistic amount of alcohol. They were using a 10% alcohol. And that's the study where they found that it all just evaporates. It didn't cause dryness, it didn't cause dehydration on the dermis of their sample. So we found that alcohol is actually a fantastic way to deliver active ingredients into your skin. The other concern I want to address is some of you say, okay, every time I use a product with alcohol in it on my acne, it has a stinging effect. There's like a light stinging. And that means it's probably damaging my skin. But actually, it's actually just the alcohol connecting with those open nerve endings because you have a wound on your skin. If you have an active broken pimple, that is technically a wound, and there's nerve endings there, and the alcohol will sting a little bit. So it's the exact same thing that's happening when you have a paper cut and you get water in it. The water is not damaging your paper cut further, it's just there's some exposed nerves that trigger a little bit of a sensation in your skin. So that's what's happening if you do use an alcohol product and you get that little stingling sensation. So now we know alcohol is actually a very helpful ingredient to use. It's often used in low concentrations just to break up those active ingredients and get them ready for your skin to utilize. So on that note, let's dive into my favorite active ingredients to use in a toner alongside oftentimes alcohol, because it's a great ingredient in toners. So the first one that we've already kind of talked about a little bit is salicylic acid. So salicylic acid, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, really popular ingredient because it works so well. So the thing about salicylic acid is it's a BHA and it is oil soluble. By being oil soluble, it's able to penetrate deeper into the pore, especially if you have very oily skin. That's why it works so well for rosacea. You often hear salicylic acid recommended again and again for someone who has rosacea acne, or even rosacea without the acne. And that's because rosacea is often accompanied with these swollen sebum pockets in the skin. The word I'm looking for on that is the enlarged sebaceous glands. Sorry, my brain had a glitch there. But you have these enlarged sebaceous glands that accompany rosacea skin. And because you're using salicylic acid on, it's able to get in there, break down that sebum, and dissolve it. So salicylic acid, great for rosacea, great for very oily, acne-prone skin, and it can be really helpful for blackheads for oily skin. Then we have glycolic acid, and I know you guys have heard of glycolic acid because it is really, really trendy right now. I think everyone is dropping a glycolic acid serum these days, it seems like. Glycolic acid is a very teeny tiny molecule, so it penetrates very deeply into the skin. This makes it not ideal for very sensitive skin because since it's penetrating so quickly, it can be a little irritating for someone with more sensitive skin. However, it works really well for those with thicker skin, textured skin, and pigmentation. We find that glycolic acid works very well for pigmentation. It also works nicely for very leathery skin, smoker's skin, anyone who has that thickened dermis and needs that deeper exfoliation. The last acid I'm going to mention today is mandelic acid. Mandelic acid is an AHA, much like glycolic. However, it is a larger molecule, so it's not as irritating to the dry, sensitive skin types. And that's why it's like our most popular acid serum. You'll see pretty much anytime you reach in, you say, hey, what's one serum I can use for my acne? If you were going to recommend one thing, 99% of the time, it's going to be Face Reality's Mandelic Serum because it works so well, and most people can tolerate mandelic acid. Mandelic acid also helps with pigmentation. So like glycolic acid, it can help target pigmentation as it's forming, as well as pigmentation that is formed after the fact. So we love mandelic acid. It's just a beautiful acid to use. So on that note, let's dive into a couple of toners that I love that contain these ingredients. So the first one I'm going to mention today is the strongest. We're going from strongest to most gentle today. So this is the Glymed Astringent number 2. This is a 2% salicylic acid toner, and this is best for non-sensitive, oily skin that needs an acid that's going to penetrate through that oil and really deep clean in the pores. So if you have really oily skin that has pimples, blackheads, lots of sebaceous filaments, which is where you can see a lot of buildup in the pores, this is just a great toner to use. It's also huge. This is an 8-ounce bottle. I don't think we have any toners that are this giant, so it'll last you a really long time. I do recommend starting with using this only a couple of times per week and use it at night, because when you're exfoliating your skin, it's going to make it a little bit more sensitive to the sun. So that's the Glymed Astringent, and you'll notice when you use this, it does smell like alcohol. I'll be totally honest, it has that alcohol scent, but remember that it is just delivering the salicylic acid and just evaporating right off the skin. If you use different solvents like propylene glycol or other glycols, you get this slippery finish on your skin because it doesn't evaporate away. It remains on the skin with the other active ingredients, and you're not getting that same penetration of salicylic acid, and you just have that shiny, more greasy finish to the skin. My next salicylic acid product that I absolutely love more for my dry or sensitive skin clients is Hale & Hush Clear Future Toner. So in this one, you're also getting that salicylic acid, but it's also being delivered with probiotics, mushroom extract, as well as a peptide that specifically targets inflammation in the skin. So this is incredibly helpful if you get inflamed breakouts. Your breakouts are red, sensitive to the touch. This is fantastic for that because it has probiotics. It's going to help boost your skin's microbiome